Shalom, back with part two. Uh, Continuing where I left off, it says, I will also gather all nations. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 2, Salaki. Joel chapter 3 and verse 2, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So in the curses, it says, you will go into Egypt again by ships. All throughout the scriptures, guess what? Esau Edom had us in his hand. He has us in his hand to this day. Were we not in a great slavery here? Were we not, after slavery was done, due to the laws that they set up, cast into prison? Did he not open up the doors of the prisons? No, he made more laws to put us back into prison, to make us go off harder. To made entertainment around going to prison, so you'll be hypnotized and want to follow a gangster thug lifestyle. To have you women being hoes and you men to being moes and thugs and, breaking the family apart. Verse 3, they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And this is not coming out. All the child trafficking that they've done. Guess what? That ain't nothing new. They've been doing that to our people. I'm going to jump down. Right there, yeah. Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So now these weaker nations, guess what? They got nuclear arms now. They got hypersonic missiles. Even learning Iran. They thought Iran was weak. They just pushed them over. Guess what? They killed a few of the leaders. They've been killing their leaders, their leadership. But guess what? They made the first strike. They struck preemptively. Nero being anointed to bring on World War III. Guess what? He started it, and it's only going to intensify from here. So this is beautiful. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, and the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Ooh, that's also, I had that, let me see here. I had it, and I sometimes you pull a bunch of precepts, I was like, I don't know. But but this is one of my favorite scriptures, illustrating, how much death is going to be going on in the earth. This is Revelation 14 and 20, speaking of the same times, the times that we're in, that are intensifying. It says, and the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse's bridle, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. But up into the blood, there was so much death that the blood was up to the horse's bridle, like the horse, his head. And the horses are tall. And that's not just like 1-2 bodies. No, let's go back to this. It says, and when you read up in that Revelation a bit, it says the same thing. Put ye in the sickle and reap. It's Joel 3 and 14. It says, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is near in the valley of decision. And it even goes, goes into it. But it is going to be a lot of death. Let's see here, Revelation 16 and 16. It says, and he gathereth them together in a place in the Hebrew tongue called Armageddon, which is Harmagadwan, which means mountain of troops. Harmageddon. So here when you go to the Hebrew, it's a Hebrew word. It says H202 Har, meaning a mountain. It can be a hill, but it's a mountain. It's a lot of depth. And then H4023 Magadwan, Megiddo. But it says place of crowds. But when you go further, it says Gadad. It says G4113 41 H1413. It's been a long day. It says to penetrate, to cut, and attack. And if you go further, it goes into Gawad. It says to attack. And there's a lot. Okay, it's going back to that. Akin to basically the valley or the mountain of troops, pretty much. And he said, there's a lot of you gonna die. I don't know if he said it like that, but this is what he's saying. This is what he's here for Armageddon. Let's look at what this. Sometimes it has some little helpful tidbit. Okay, mountain of troops, but that's all right. So this is what Nero has been anointed for. Yeah, you're right. But his name isn't Jesus. His name is Yahushua. And guess what? You're not on the right side of this. You're on the side that's going to be destroyed. This is Isaiah 34, and I'll start at verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all the things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is upon all nations. All the nations. And his fury upon all their armies. And he have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. So the Most High is letting you know ahead of time, you already destroyed. The Lord is going to destroy you, and you've already been destroyed. It's already written. Your destruction has already been written. Like, I like that, Salakia. I like this old anime called Fist of the North Star. And what he would say, he would do these pressure point attacks and whatnot and make the nigga head explode. And in that time after he did his attack, the enemy would be like, man, what are you tickling me? Pretty much. And then he would be like, you're already dead. Like, as they're speaking, he's like, you're already dead. And then they come to the realization, he's like, what? And then their head explodes. But, just showing this is just, you've already been defeated. And by the time you realize it, you're already going to be dead. So, verse 3, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. So that's a lot of dead people. That's a lot of dead. Put that with the imagery of the horse's bridle. How much death that's going to be. That the slain shall also be cast out. Their stink shall come up, meaning that there's nobody to bury you. The body just going to be laying there, stinking. Diseases spreaded. And guess what? Hey, after all this, we're going to sever out men of continual appointment. There are going to be people flagging bodies and burying bodies. Esau, Edom, this is going to be your first job. Your first real honest work. Verse 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Speaking of a mushroom cloud, of nuclear destruction. And all their hosts shall fall down, as a leaf falleth off from the vine, and as the falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, speaking of the trajectory, the arc of the ICBMs. It goes into the heavens and comes back down. behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, the sword. Not a actual, a broadsword. No, this is an ICBM. This is a weapon. So it's even shaped like a sword. But for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Now it's not speaking of over there in Jordan, or what's modern day Jordan, or Edom, where modern day Jordan is. No, it's speaking of here, Babylon the Great. This is his new home. He's got in the fatness of the earth. He's taken over the whole earth, and this is where the major Edomite empire is. This is where the major destruction is happening. I'm saying, over here and in the land of Israel, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. These people are cursed. They're cursed with destruction, and there's no saving them. The sword of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. For Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua hath sacrificed in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So this land that you see, if you hear in Babylon the Great, you look around the horizon, do a quick 360 view, all that you can see in sight. Well, guess what? Everything that you see in your sight, and wherever you are from coast to coast, this is all considered an altar, and it's going to be burnt up. Everything here is going to be burnt up and destroyed. And I'm going to jump down I'll just keep reading. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with their bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Because you've worn out the saints. You've constantly harassed us. You've destroyed us. You've drunk our blood. You are drunk with the blood of our people. And this is it. Yeah, you've done all kinds of wickedness all around the world, to the earth, to the people of the earth. But most importantly, you've done wickedness to the Israelites. The apple of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's eye. To who you calling Jesus, who you say set you up, anointed you, what you're doing to his people. What do you think he's going to do to you? Oh yeah, I love Jesus. But you don't do anything that he says. You don't even call him his proper name. You don't know his proper name. And look what you're doing to his people. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. So this is a great destruction coming. No life is going to be here. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever and ever, from generation to generation. It shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. And you continue reading, but this land is set to be destroyed. But I was going to get that before this happens. Revelation 13:16. That's the destruction. That's the final thing. But before this destruction comes, this has to happen. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. When you go into that word mark, that's charagma, meaning a badge of servitude. The RFID micro CHIP in you. You're going to have your biometrics, everything. Biometrics, name, ID, banking information. Everything that you carry around in your pockets, your cell phone, your wallet, all that, it's going to be in your hand or in your forehead. And you are not going to be able to do anything in this man's society unless you have this. And if Armageddon, if World War III has started, guess what? It ain't going to come to the point of the destruction until this happens. Until Revelation 13:16 and 17 happens. But guess what? This is all in a short period of time of each other. This is all happening very quickly with each other. So continuing on. and I had this. I asked Google. It said France increases nuclear arsenal, and the overview says as of March 2020. This is all recent. This is all March. This is only the fourth day. As of March 2026, French President Emmanuel Macron announced a significant shift in national security policy, with France increasing its nuclear arsenal for the first time since 1992. This move aims to strengthen deterrence against potential threats. And who are the threats? Come on. Who is a real threat around the world? Threats. Who? Because the whore sits on the beast, which is NATO and the EU. The whore being Babylon the Great. But who's controlling that whore? So, and these two nations have shown themselves to be threats to everybody else around the world, to sovereign nations, to people minding their own business. So, this move aims to strengthen deterrence against potential threats, particularly in response to Russia and doubts over the U.S. security umbrella. Since the arsenal increase, Macron announced an increase in the number of nuclear warheads from the current level, which is believed to be under 300. European cooperation. France is in talks with 8 European countries, including Germany, the UK, Poland, Sweden, to deepen cooperation on nuclear deterrence. Strategic deployment. France may temporarily deploy nuclear-armed aircraft to allied European nations to boost regional security. Sole control. Despite increased cooperation, the decision-making authority for using nuclear weapons remains solely with the French president. Right. So, hey, they're beating their plowshares into swords. But guess what? Hey, this is one country increasing their arsenal, and shoot, basically all these nations that have nuclear arms, that have these arrows, they're gonna shoot these on Babylon the Great. They're gonna destroy this place. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. Oh, I like that subheader. It says, Edom will be humbled. Now, these small, the hats, they say, oh, whoever they're attacking, that's Edom, that's Amalek. Whoever they want to attack next, oh, that's them. But Christians will tell you Edom, Amalek, they were done away with. But the scripture tell you that he's here. He's going to be here in the last days. And it's up to the Spirit to open you up for you to figure it out. Because you're not going to figure it out on your own. The Spirit needs to open up your minds to this. You can see it all day. You've been seeing the evidence of who Esau Edom is. But you never connected it to Scripture. So the Holy Spirit is making these connections, revealing who this is. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So this is, does it not sound like the same thing as I read in Revelation, Armageddon, and Joel 3? The nations rising up. Who are they rising up against? They rising up against Edom. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. These nations, they hate Babylon the Great. They hate the hats. And go and look at what they've done. All these countries that hate them, it's not for no reason. Look at what they've done to their countries, what they've done to their people. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right, hey, that video of Nero is talking. Did that not mirror that language? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down. Once again, identifying Esau Edom. He exalts himself as an eagle. Not only prideful, high up like that, but then his emblems is the eagle. He has a space station. He's sitting up in the heavens. But again, jumping down, verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy, you have NATO, EU, whatnot, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. So they're at peace with you now. They might cooperate with you now, but guess what? You're being deceived. You're being tricked. You can't see past your own pride. And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. So this man, even though he's right there, he can't see this happening. He can't see himself falling, even though he's falling. And I'm going to jump up, start at verse 1. For Revelation 17 and verse 1, and it says the doom of Babylon. Now, Babylon and Edom are interchangeable. Let me see if I can pull that up. I believe it's a psalm. Oh, come on. It doesn't load. Anyway, Esau and Babylon, because the thing they want to load, they're synonymous with each other. And it's not referring to ancient Babylon. This was referring to the modern Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. So Revelation 17 and verse 1, and there came one of the 7 angels which had 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And this is what I just read in Isaiah 34. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and they're sitting down eating together, getting in bed together, all that, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. People have gone mad. The nonsense that this place puts out. The people have gone crazy. Through this. So let me see here. Oh, sitteth upon many waters. So I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So jumping down, when you get to verse, I believe it's let me see here. Let me get this first. Revelation 17 and verse 15, he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So this is a hegemony. This is this whore rules over many things. Like I said, you're cut off from trade. You're cut off. So this is a nation that's ruling over, many things. It's ruling over everything really in the world. It says it rules over the waters. The waters represents, it says, people, multitudes, nations, and tongues. So it's ruling over the earth. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, which these are, represent NATO and EU countries, representing at that, like France, for instance. This would be one of the 10 horns. Or that would be a part of the beast. But then you have other nations that are still a part of the EU. So, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So this is the nations betraying her. Her allies betraying her. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So this is Babylon the Great ruling over all the earth. And what else does it say? It says that they're agreeing to help out the beast and the whore until the time is fulfilled, and that time is coming up. where they're going to betray her and burn her with fire. They're going to shoot their nuclear missiles on Babylon the Great, which is America. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13. But at the same time this is happening, guess what? Yahushua is coming. At the same time that all these troops are going to be in the Valley of Yehoshaphat, in the Middle East, in Iran, this is going to happen. So this is happening shortly, but like I said, the MOTB has to happen first. Things have to escalate. The tribulation has to increase. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, and I'll start at verse 1. And lo, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. This was Yahushua. This is him, how he said he's coming in a cloud. And this here is describing a mountain. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven, from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So Yahushua is coming in a cloud. It's described here as a mountain, which I haven't got to it yet. But when Yahushua returns, all the nations, they're going to leave off of whatever they're doing. They're fighting each other and fight Yahushua. But I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So people are going to be terrified, but they still the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to still try to put up a fight. So, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Like it says in Isaiah, I will not meet thee as a man. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So all the nations that were gathered together, all the killing that they were doing, they're gonna stop what they were doing, fight Yahushua, be scared as shit, and be turned into dust. So you're not on the side that you think you're on. You Edomites. And let me see, there's there. This is 2nd Ezra 13:29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, the elect, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, as they are not expecting. Yahushua is coming as a thief in the night. They're really not expecting his return and how grand it's going to be. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So all-out chaos, all-out war, world war. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the sign shall happen which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land lead the battle they have one against another. So they're gonna see Yahushai. They're gonna leave what the fights they're having and go fight Yahushai. And an innumerable, and this is what they think they're doing. No, this is what they're doing, but they think they're doing this in righteousness. They like, you know, and man, I don't know. Like, do the wicked really think they're righteous? Man, like they're really bugged out. But Yahweh Bashim Shai put this in their minds to do this. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come, and shall be showed unto all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. And shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and shall destroy them without labor by the law, which is like unto fire. And then it goes into a Yahushai gathering his elect, so the peaceable multitude. But for time's sake, this is Isaiah 63:1. I've already been going for, I'm just going to close it out after this. This is Isaiah 63 because this is who's coming, and this is the judgment that he's bringing. And none of it is. There is nothing nice for Esau. It says Isaiah 63, and I'll start at verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? So it's asking the question: who's it coming? And it's not. Yahushai is not literally going to have his garments, blood on his garments, but this that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. This is Yahushai. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? So why is your clothes red? Why are your clothes red? You look like you've been, treading grapes. You've been making wine. But this is symbolic to how much death Yahushai is gonna. You just said that, seen the innumerable multitude that was, burnt up, turned into ashes. Verse 3: I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger. As a matter of fact, that was Basra. That's the capital city of Edom. Slaki, I skipped that, but H1224 Batazara, and it says sheepfold, town in Edom. But this is Edom. This is referring to judgment on Edom. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. So let me read that one more time. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. Meaning Yahushai, when that 2nd Ezra 13, that was Yahushai. That was him doing that. He didn't have no help with him. Saying he's single-handedly going to bring all this destruction. Going to do all this killing. For I will tread them in mine anger, who the Edomites and all the other nations with them, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. But he's going to be in the chariot. He's not literally going to have blood on him, but it's just imagery. How much killing that he's going to do. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. So this is here. This is the time. The times that we're in. These are very exciting times. Matter of fact, I'll keep reading, and I'll close out after this. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, in my fury it upheld me. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. So this is Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, sending his son Yahushai to bring down Esau, Edom, to subdue these other nations, and to save his people, the Israelites, starting with the elect. But hey, Lord willing, this has been edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakachodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Hey, Shalom.